I'll start by reiterating what the Deputy Managing Director said. One, we have title to the property. The titles are in the names of the fund. We are in possession.
Then before you are in possession,
yes.
Did you pay fully for the land?
Yes.
How much?
I don't have the figures off head. My colleague, the DMD, can help.
It was 11 billion at the time.
11 billion?
At the time.
Okay, now.
Yes. So since then, there have been a couple of claims on the land. One is a claim by Temangalo Tea Estate that led to them lodging a caveat. So there is a caveat on the land, which was lodged when they filed a case in the High Court of Uganda. That case was finally determined in favor of the fund. Yes. We have since lodged an application for the caveat to be vacated. It is pending before the High Court. Before the court, Temangalo has filed an appeal. It's pending in the Court of Appeal. So that is one matter. There are a couple of pending reconciliations with the former vendor. There is land that they are supposed to avail us in exchange of land that the fund took that was found not to be satisfactory. So we've been having negotiations, engagements really, with the former vendor, Mr. Nzeyi, for them to identify suitable.
Who is the former vendor?
Mr. Amos Nzeyi.
Amos
Nzeyi.
Yes.
Yes. So the fund has been engaging.
He is among the. Was a tenant or he was a vendor?
The vendor.
He sold to NSSF.
Yes, Chair.
At how much?
The 11 billion. But there was another vendor.
And he received the money?
Yes, Chair.
When?
In 2008.
2008.
Yes, Chair.
So how many years ago?
It is 18 years.
About 18.
Yeah.
Around 18.
Yes, Chair.
And up to now he's doing what?
So, Chair, that's the long history I was alluding to. In between,
by now he's doing what? Has he provided alternative land or refunded the money?
So we are in the process of identifying the alternative land around in that area. So what the fund holds is actually the titles consolidated. We hold more than we bought. And as a condition for us to release the variance, he has to avail us alternative acceptable land. So in as far as the protection of the members is concerned, the comfort lies in the fact that we actually hold the title for even more than we bought, on the basis that he's supposed to avail us alternative acceptable land. Chair, I'm happy to report that we've been having very good engagements.
No, I think, Clark, we must interface with that. They said Amos. Amos, you said Amos?
Amos Nzeyi.
Amos Nzeyi. Then I think through your accounting officer you must avail copies of that said land, the title, since you claim it is in the names of NSSF. We need to be certain. Okay, proceed.
Yes. So those are the encumbrances, and because the land is some of the land that is part of the chunk that I mentioned does have a few squatters on it. And those quotas are the responsibility of Mr. Nzeyi to sort out. Exactly. So as part of the negotiations, those are some of the issues.
Did you sign a contract of sale?
Yes, Chair. Yes.
Did it provide for how squatters are dealt with? And the period to hand over vacant possession?
I don't have the terms of the contract.
We need please avail the committee a copy of that contract.
Chair, we shall avail all this information.
So from your recollection, who was responsible to deal with the squatters?
The vendor, Chair. The vendor. The vendor.
Upon payment of the entire purchase price or part?
Ideally, it should have been upon payment, but I will say what my colleague said earlier. Some of these actions predate some of our involvement, so we may not have the context of why certain things were done a certain way. What we are doing right now is our best to resolve these constraints, and this is where we
according to the record, what was done? They paid before.
So we paid, we got the land, we had the land registered in the fund's name.
Yes.
And as a condition for releasing a portion of the land, like I said, we paid more than we If I may, I think we paid for 270. Gerard, through you, Chair. Gerard, if you could help me.
I think Chair will provide this information.
Yeah, I think let's avail. Yeah.
No, you are still on record.
Yeah.
Because you are saying you have more than what you bought.
Yeah, that's
please try to
Chair,
elaborate for us.
So, Chair, the titles we have consolidated.
You bought how many acres from Nzeyi, Amos?
Chair, these are the details that I request that we give you, because I'm on record. I don't want to give wrong numbers. So please allow me give you the correct records. But the fact is, the total acreage we hold is slightly more than what we paid for. That's a fact. Now, the actual numbers, kindly allow me to give you the facts based on the supporting documents, so that I don't go on record with wrong numbers.
So by Friday, you will avail the committee?
Yes, Chair.
With those records?
Yes. But Chair, just to conclude the submission, we have been in very active engagements with Mr. Nzeyi. We've had the property resurveyed. We've had the problem areas identified where some of those quotas are. And Mr. Nzeyi is working with his team to avail us alternative land that's encumbrance free. So that is the...
Where do you get the assurance that he's working with his team? Do you have a correspondence from him in writing?
Chair. Yes, Chair, we do. We've had meetings, we have records of the meetings.
I mean, correspondence. What does this correspondence say?
Chair, we have records of meetings we've had with him and his technical team, as well as our technical team, the surveyors and all that.
Away from the meetings, I mean formal correspondence, where he's pledging to look for alternative land.
Yes, Chair, we do have. In fact, it was
which year?
Was it 2014, 15?
So you wrote in 2014.
We have an arbitral award, an arbitral award where these commitments were made. And so, Chair, I will avail all this information.
So from 2014 up to now, he has not secured alternative land?
Not yet, Chair.
Yes?
Chair, if I could come in. So, as my colleague has supposed for the land, but then there was another agreement which was executed between the vendor and the fund at the time. That one was what they called a swap agreement, whereby we exchange some of the land that we paid for, and then we get other land. But that one had 3 conditions. The first condition was that the land had to be good land. No, it didn't have to have low-lying land. It didn't have it didn't require for it to be low-lying. The second condition was that it should not have encroachments, right? And then the third condition was it had to be adjacent. Now, the land that has, over the years, between 2014 and 2026, where we are, the alternative that has been given to the fund has failed to meet the 3 conditions, which is why the swap agreement has not been effected.
You didn't apportion a deadline?
I think right now...
Because you cannot be in procurement forever over the same transaction.
Actually, I think right now, what we've decided and obviously guided by our board, he has been served an eviction letter. Because it appears, Mr. Nzeyi, and yes, we can avail a copy.
Yeah, you avail a copy.
Yeah, because it appears the issue of finding alternative land is not likely to be concluded, especially in light of the 3 conditions that were set at the time.
Could you, the eviction letter should be form part of the documents.
Okay.
You need to avail the committee. Yes, Honorable, let's start from there. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. As the MD put it, that you talked about, at least there must have been a provision to protect the funds, the monies of the fund. After 18 years, the legal officer here was saying what they have is slightly bigger. After 18 years, even if we look at the commercial rates, land that was bought in 2008, 18 years, by now, how much would that be if we are to protect the monies of the fund?
So you are questioning if there is an applicable interest?
Yes, because there must be a rate at which the monies should be growing.
So we need to interrogate the contents of the contract. The sale contract, you receive money, you don't deliver land. We can't, NSSF can't be claiming the same total it paid 18 years ago. I think your question is in that context. Yes?
Thank you, Chairperson.
Just to consolidate our response,
Yeah.
Chair, I've gotten my numbers now, so I can share them
No,
through you.
You respond at once. Let me finish.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Either the share price or the share value of the investment that you made in associates has reduced, meaning the investments are not doing well, or you pulled out of certain associates.
This is, I thank.
Go to NSSF.
Yeah, Chair, the MD, he was communicating to us. He stated in an easy way that to get money, even 2 days are enough. Even one donor phone you get. And when such big people are here before us, they give us information, and you may think that it is as cheap and free as they have stated. But moving out is different. That's where people can say, network, you must get a code, what. You know, we have even people, you serve who are villagers, like my people of Kamira. Network can take 2 weeks. So you have such arrangement, when you take that 2 days are okay. So we need also just to be fair as you are giving such, because some of the things you are telling us, they are not applicable. So we want you to be genuine to Ugandans too. In Uganda, there is always a handover function, and you see people exchanging files. But here we are circling on these issues because where we are now, NSSF, it's the only somewhere people can just get some little money which they have worked for. But for you are using it, you benefit much more than those who are in need of that money. So how I wish that as you are before us, the issue of we are not in office. We are not in office. That's why some issues, when you use that as it were a defense. So I think that one, Chair, you need to guide us, that whoever is here is in capacity to answer and brief us conclusively without using anything of that nature. Last one.
Maybe to arrest your fears.
Yes.
The Constitution is very clear.
Yes.
That any public officer or accounting officer who is in charge of a vote, whether you are in office or you are out of office, you can still be invited or summoned to answer for any respective money which was spent or misspent. The answer that we are not in office is subject to scrutiny, and we actually entertain it based on available evidence. And that's why we sought for additional.
Thank you, Chair, with your wide guidance.
But I hope you are done, because we have to move.
Concluding with the last one, as I stated.
Hey, please conclude. One second.
Chair, there are such arrangements of buying property in Uganda and what we have seen a current of conspiracy or insiders when they are working with outside.
About
463.
463.87
acres from Mr. Nzeyi and Ama Limited at the time. And at the time, there was...
It was bought from Nzeyi and who?
Ama Limited, ARMA.
Ama Limited.
Limited, yes.
Who are the directors of Ama Limited? Wait, you want to answer for her? Who are the directors for Ama Limited?
From my recollection, I believe one of them was Mr. Mbabazi.
Mr.
Amama Mbabazi.
Amama Mbabazi.
But we'll get the other details from the records that we are going to share.
Okay.
Right? And Mr. Nzeyi.
One director?
So at the time, there was a memorandum of understanding for the fund to swap 108 acres with Mr. Nzeyi to enable him retain developments on that land, because they were occupying the land. They had farmland and the house, yeah? So now that speaks to the question the Honorable that is seated next to you asked about. We seem to also, our views about the decisions that were made. if I were involved at the time, I would have wanted that the swap is done before the sale is completed. Yeah, so I don't know why that decision was made.
So you were not satisfied with the decision?
Ideally, but there must have been reasons which I'm not privy to. And that answers the question on our views on that, yeah? So
Okay.
what has been happening to date is the endeavor to have the swap done and completed. And that has taken a bit of time, including a process that resulted in an arbitral award, the swap agreement that my DMD talked about. And to answer the question, Honorable Louis asked, sorry if I got the name wrong, my apologies. So you wondered why, yeah, Louis Rika, my apologies, why I said negotiations were going on and my DMD said we had completed. So we've been at it for a while. We issued a notice with a deadline of 30th June. And that's what the DMD was talking about. So preceding that were the negotiations, including the valuation, the survey, and all that. So that had been happening. And when that didn't yield the results we were seeking for, the fund has now issued that notice to Mr. Nzeyi in a bid to recover. And then the question about the cows on the land, yes, part of the land he owns is his farmland. So yes, some of the cows are actually his. And the fund is looking at some of that land as the appropriate suitable land to replace that is in line with the swap we talked about earlier. So I hope that clarifies.
So
the issue.
you bought from Nzeyi
and
Amama.
No, and Amma Limited.
Okay,
The
and
company.
Amma Limited.
Yes, it's a legal entity.
Then after buying, one of the sellers or vendor is still using the land.
No, they were already on the land, and as
Yes.
part of the sale, there was that MOU that provided that a swap should happen.
So they occupy the land.
Not all the land.
Part of the land.
Of the land. The fund occupies most of the land. In fact, that's why we've been able to develop the ongoing project, as the MD talked about. So we hold most of the land, but we still need a balance, and he still holds part of that land. So that is
Okay.
the subject of the swap.
Okay.
Maybe a
Yes.
clarity, Council Tibeta. Why was there a need to make an MOU on top of a sale agreement? Of course, we are mindful that we've not yet got the documents which you plan, Province Avail, but ordinarily the sale agreement should be self-execution.
Absolutely.
Why was
Chair,
there
I
a need to
agree.
make an MOU to?
Yeah, with respect, like I said, ideally the sale agreement would have been conclusive in itself, including the land that had been bought and all that. However, for reasons that I am not privy to, that is the situation.
So
Yeah.
let's turn to our representative in Uganda, please. Well, let's move chronologically up to the Now, you seem to know about cows on the land. Your colleagues are telling us some of the cows, or all the cows, are fact. Where were you getting your information? Do you have some conflict of interest somewhere? Just be clear so that our record is.
Yeah, there is no conflict of interest at all. And both answers are right. Like they have said, let me explain. The gentleman Amos has about 100 acres in his possession, yeah? In that 100 acres, he keeps some cows. The fund has the balance of 300 acres plus of empty land that has just started being developed. Part of that land, the local community occasionally requests the fund to allow them to graze their animals there. I'm in charge of security at the fund, so we normally allow the neighboring community to part of good neighborliness. So it's both correct that some of the cows are in Mr. Nzeyi's 100 plus acres, and some of the cows the Honorable could have seen would be for the community.
Do you have evidence to that?
I know it because I approve it. The fund approves it for neighbors once in a while to raise. So there is no written evidence.
Could you give the committee at least a copy of such alleged approval for any member of the committee? Allowing members of the public or any other person to utilize the land?
Utilizing would probably not be the word to use it. there are neighboring communities around us. There is empty land with grass in it. So
when did you last visit the land?
Maybe last in Temangalo, maybe
Yes.
4 months, 5 months ago.
So you visit after which interval?
I visit about twice in a year. Twice in a year.
Yes, Honorable.
Fund even him as an officer to even give the neighboring communities permission to construct paddocks on that land, because the land I'm talking about, there are paddocks, very organized. I don't think that can be done by the neighboring communities. Secondly, the land, Chair, want the legal officer to clarify whether the land that Amos is utilizing is owned by him or the fund. Who has the title for that land? That is our interest.
Thank you. I think, and we may actually need to visit some of these properties, because if for you go there twice a year, it appears a member normally uses the same road to his home. Now, and your colleagues are having different answers to the same question. Maybe we shall have to ascertain on the ground. We shall come back to that later. MD.
Thank you. I just wanted to bring to constructing, developing close to 500 homes in Temangalo that are going to go into for sales by the end of September. That will be 500 homes. The first phase that we are going to build, or we are building there. Also touches a bit on what you asked. The testimony that we had is basically we own the title, the entire title, including where Nzeyi's house is in the name of the fund. After transfers, that's when he wanted to keep the house, but the condition was, which goes to a question that I believe one of the honorable raised, that land in Namungwana is a different piece of land. No, there are three conditions. The land had to be adjacent to our land, it had to be squatter free, and be suitable for what we wanted to do. Those were the three conditions. And all the swaps he has attempted, none of the pieces he has offered meets all the three criteria. That's why it has taken that long. So the notice of eviction is when we get out of our land, because we hold the title to what he now has in that case. So that kind of explains even where we are with Temangalo. 500 homes are coming up. We'll begin pre-sales end of September. Lubowa, we just finished the first phase of 300 homes, have sold the homes. There are only 8 homes remaining in Lubowa today, out of 306 that were constructed. So there is progress in terms of what we're doing with this land and developing it, in spite of the long history and delay that has gone through in that case. When we come to the issue of Uganda clays, I think the question was, is this the only entity? That's the only loan that we have given to an entity. And this was done in 2011 before the UBRA Act was enacted. Because the UBRA Act, that came, the section that the Honorable Member 68, that was part of the UBRA Act. This loan was lent prior to the enaction of the UBRA Act. So there is no violation of any section in that case. There is a gentleman just mentioned something about TAT, that we say people get their monies in 2 days. It's unfortunate if you have a member who has come and has complained. It's possible. But the average in terms of what we pay, and we have 6 classes of benefits that we pay. Some of them like age benefit, which is somebody's 55, the average is 3.5 days. We know if the paperwork is together and everything is right, we pay it as quickly as we can. Survivor benefit takes a while because there are dependencies. Because somebody has to get the administration letters, has to go to court, has to declare. That takes a while before a member can get their money. But otherwise, in general, we're actually paying these things well. And that's why members actually, the level of satisfaction with the fund is incredible, because they know we do pay when they need. Now, occasionally you run into a problem where somebody has, typical us in Uganda, I have a phone number, but it's not in my name. Which means you can't initiate that transaction on your phone because there will be a conflict between what you have in the system and what you have on your phone. In that case, that member is going to come and walk and go to a branch to initiate those transactions. But otherwise, in terms of the TAT payments, we actually do. I think there was a question that raised a bit in terms of the representation of fund, board, or staff on another board. It's common. If you're an investor and you started a business, you as the investor in that business, shouldn't you appoint a representative to make sure that your business affairs are being monitored and taken? So it's not unusual for fund employees, fund staff, or board to be on the other investing funds. So actually, it's a prudent thing, a business thing that we need to do in that case. A bit of, I think, I've given you Lubowa, I've given you Temangalo, where we are. He said pension towers, we hope it will be finished by January 2027. We are already, and he gave us how much? 83%. How much have we spent?
Through you, Chair. We've invested 322 billion to date. 22 billion.
In how many years?
Okay, the project was started in 2000, but it had a redesign and the whole story. But up to now, when you look at the existing contracts, what has been paid to date is 322 billion.
And when do you hope to finish it?
End of January 2027.
January 2027. It's at 83%,
which is about 6 months from now.
Now let's have a 3-minute fitness break. Then we proceed with the response.
Can we stand up, please? Just 2 minutes.